Hey guys, it's Danny from Origin Films, and today I'm going to show you guys how to take your portraiture to the next level using the curves tools in Photoshop. So as you can see, I'm working with a beautiful photo of my friend Christine. This photo was shot back in summer of 2019, and I've already made some subtle adjustments to this photo. Now I'm in the final stages of editing my photo, and I really want to make this photo pop. Normally, I would go over to the Adjustments tab, select Curves, and add a bit of an S-curve to make my photo a little bit more contrasty. Now this isn't bad at all, it definitely adds a bit of dimension into my photo, but the problem with this is that the curves effect has been applied to the entire image. What I actually want to do is separate my subject from the background. I really want to make her eyes pop, and I want to emphasize on her feminine features. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now using the curves tool. The first thing we're going to do is actually make two curves adjustment layers and play with them separately. One is only going to affect the highlights and one is only going to affect the shadows. So we're going to start off with our highlights, and I'm really going to bring it up there so I can see how much of a change this layer is making to my image. We're going to go back to our layers, and the first thing we're going to do is actually invert this layer by pressing on the layer itself and pressing Ctrl-I on your keyboard. This will make the layer mask black, and what this will allow you to do is actually draw in the parts on the layer mask that you want to have affected. What do I mean by this? Well, basically, now that we're only affecting the highlights, if I go over to my brush tool, change my opacity, let's start off with 50%, and draw over my image, as you can tell, it's lighting up or increasing the highlights on the parts of the image that I draw. So what I'm going to do is actually go in and draw on top of all the parts in the image that I want to look brighter. Always start at a low opacity and don't be shy to experiment, because this is just a layer, so it can easily be toggled on or off or even erased by switching your brush between white and black. Now, a good rule of thumb is to just look at the image itself and pay attention to where the light naturally brightens the image. That's going to be a great indicator of where you want to apply an increase in the highlights and a decrease in the shadows. So as you can tell, just by applying a little bit of highlight on specific parts of my image, I can really make those features pop. Now let's do the same thing with the shadows. We're going to make a new layer and lower these shadows significantly so we can see how this curves adjustment will affect my image. We're going to go over to the layer mask and invert it by pressing Ctrl-I on my keyboard. And then again, we're just going to go into the parts of the image that we actually want to darken and draw over it using a white brush. And there you have it. So just by making two layers, one for the highlights and one for the shadows, that separately affect this image, I can draw on specific parts of the image that I'd like to have affected. Now, you don't want to go overboard because it begins to look a little bit fake when you push this to the next level, but overall, using this to make subtle adjustments to your image will definitely help make your image pop. It will take some time learning where and what parts of a person's body you want to either increase or decrease in the highlights or the shadows, but overall, this is a great method that you can start using right away in your images, so we hoped you guys found this useful. Give us a like if you like this tutorial, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube for more content, and we'll see you guys in the next video.